Joe Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today, or this whole week, we are looking at the newest wave of G.I. Joe classified figures, and today we are looking at Franklin, Airborne, Talltree. Great packaging, nice image on the side of the box, art looks good, and I gotta admit, I like the standard art. As much as I dug it that they were kind of playing around and taking some chances with different art styles and stuff early in the line, I really do like all the art looking the same. And then on the back, you've got the Renderama. He's on Easter Island with the laser beams, which I believe is from the Airborne-centric episode where his little brother is psychic. And of course, Cobra wants to use that for evil. So anyway, let's get Airborne opened up and check him out. Do a little comparison with the original Airborne figure while we're here, because why not? He's right outside the workshop, so might as well grab him and bring him in. So there's one thing right off the bat that I don't love about this figure, but it is completely a personal preference thing and not a problem. It's just a preference, and we'll get to it in a second. And it's something I've mentioned on other figures that I'm not really a fan of. Okay, let's get all the accessories off to the side over here and take a look at Mr. Talltree, who has a very intense look on his face. I really dig that. The portrait is great. And he's got he's got his flight suit on, and that covers that boot joint that would normally be like up here at the top of the boot. But he does have the standard ankles, nice range. Foot gear looks good. Knee pads are great. Unfortunately, they did not do the same thing they did with the Techno Viper and just decide, oh, we'll just make the whole knee joint that color, which would have, look, ruined is a strong word. I'm not going to say it would have ruined this figure for me, but it would have ruined this figure for me if they had done that. He's got all of his gear. Gosh, the colors on him look really great. So many times, we'll see the renders online and even the finished product that we see in the Hasbro live streams, just, it's like, oh yeah, I guess that's the color that should be. But then when you get it in hand, get it in person, just like Big Boa from yesterday, his colors are just really cool. He's going to stand out really nicely on your classified shelf because nobody else looks quite like this color-wise, the color palette. And that's a big thing with G.I. Joe, especially as we get deeper into the line, is those color palettes changed and evolved a lot from 82 to 94, and I want to see that reflected. Maybe not to quite the degree that it was, but, I do want to see that. I do want to see different looking stuff. That double jointed elbow does break up his elbow pad piece there, which is really bizarre, but what are you going to do? Like, there's not really a way around that. If you have to have these double joints in your figures, that's kind of the only way to handle that. Not a huge deal. Although I do wonder how toy photographers feel about that kind of thing. Like, if you're trying to get a cool action pose of Airborne, like kind of from the side, and then you've got these two huge losses of color here, like it really does kind of betray the integrity of the look. But also it comes back to, well, this is a toy. Man, all of the detail and everything is fantastic. Look, he's got the pull, and he's really great. So let's compare him to the original As you can see, the classified colors, there's actually a little more contrast. He doesn't look as the original figure. I really, really dug this figure when I was a kid because he looked very different from everybody else at the time. That light blue stood out. The green, well, the green on the light blue, like he was a standout figure in the original, couple of years of the line because I started in '82. So he absolutely, when he came out, was something very different. But they've managed to make him look a little less washed out color wise. Like his colors are stronger. They're not brighter, they're stronger. So there you go. I think they've captured that look very, very well. Let's take a look at these accessories, and this is where, well, I'll just go ahead and get to it. So I can't stand this, and I know it's a real thing. And I know for your military enthusiasts that is great that they're starting to incorporate that, whatever that's called. I know there's a name for it. I just think it looks so bad on a helmet if you don't have, well, even when you have the thing plugged into it, it just looks goofy to me. And I know it's a real world thing. I'm well aware, believe me. But I just don't like that look. It doesn't work for me. Gosh, but look at that. Actually got paint on the lenses of the night vision. Really nice. Like, if they're going to do it, at least they're doing it well. And this remains removable. And the good thing about it is, if you want to capture the original look, that doesn't seem to stay on very well. Maybe once I put the goggles on, it'll be a little better. Because you can capture the look of the original figure by putting the goggles over that. And they've got the goggle covers on them. I'm trying to figure out how to get this thing a little more snug. Are we supposed to do the trick again where, oh, because it does have to fit. Huh. Okay, so anyway, there is pretty much the original look. You can see. But then he can also, and see, I really like these. With the goggles down. And of course, once you do that, the helmet should stay on a little better. But doesn't seem to. Ooh. I gotta say, I got a little problem with that helmet not fitting very well. Let's move that goggle strap up a little bit and see if maybe that helps. It seems to somewhat. That's a shame. That doesn't really do a whole lot. All right, let's make it as big as we can. Put that strap right over his ears, and maybe that'll widen it out enough to stay on a little better. Okay, that does seem to be the best solution there. So, that still doesn't... Ooh. I hate it when we've got disparity like that because there are so many accessories in this line and helmets in this line that fit perfectly, and that you put them on the figure and you can tell right where they go, no problem at all. They slide right into place, they stay put, and then to have something like this, the fit just isn't very good. I mean, that's bad. That's not. It's so loose. Is disappointing, but I'll probably throw some blue tack under there to keep it in place because I do want that original look because I want to cover up that big goofy square on the front of his helmet. Because again, personal taste, I just don't like it. But I do look forward to whoever chooses to ignore the number of times I've said personal taste and decides to explain to me in the comments that thing is great and a real thing and that I shouldn't have a problem with it. So please do so. And take at least 3 or 4 paragraphs to do it as well. So there you go. I'm going to have to throw some blue tack in there to get it snug on his head. A little disappointed with that. But I'm not disappointed with backpack. Looks good. I like that they've gone with a different color here that matches his web gear. I like that a lot more than the original, just matching his flight suit. That looks great. He has got a knife that is all black. And look, I love it when they paint the blades, but I can accept it when they don't. Because this is a thing. Yes, a painted blade is more toyetic and looks better, but his backpack doesn't stay in super well either. I mean, it's okay, but if you do that, it pops right out. They just need to work on the angles of some of these things a little bit more. Like, if that peg would angle down a little bit so it was flush against his back more when it was plugged in, it would be better. Because, as you can see, that doesn't really work super well. He has got a blaster, as we say here, when we don't want to get dinged by YouTube. But you know what he doesn't have? Oh, wait, maybe... okay. So he's got... You can swap between the two... Oh, no, you really can't. Oh, yeah, you can. Okay. Which is why he's got the storage on his holster for that. There you go. Now that makes sense. Man, that portrait. Come on, focus. That portrait is really great. And then finally, we've got a little submachine blaster. Very cool design. And fortunately, his wrist goes up and down and not side to side. So you can actually have him holding this. Look at that helmet. This is not good. I like his original rifle, but this is a good one too. And if you had asked me, hey, what kind of firearm does Airborne have? I wouldn't have come up with anything like this, but I don't know that I would have remembered right off the top of my head that it was that M16 with the bayonet. Because I don't know that that's the most appropriate for a helicopter assault trooper either. So he looks great. It's just some of the functionality of some of the interaction of the accessories is not great. But I still like Airborne. I dig it once I get his backpack and his helmet stuck on better, I'll be happy with him and I'll put him on the shelf. He's not a 10 out of 10, but he's very solid. I think design-wise, they did a great job. Execution-wise, production-wise, there are a couple little problems. But overall, I dig him. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about needless things. And until next time, yo, Joe.
Smash that like button if you like needless things.